Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. Today, another banger of an interview. Man, I swear, sometimes I just get lucky. Today, we have a special guest. Goes by the name of Sticks. Real name is Isaac. Isaac, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, bro? Man, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on your platform, bro. This is gonna
Yeah,
be good.
for sure, dude. Yeah, we got to talking a little bit, just a little bit before. You're like, hey, I don't know if you want to share my story, but this is kind of a little bit. And I'm like, oh yeah, I heard enough. It's good. It's good. So with that, man, tell everybody where you grew up at.
So I grew up. Originally, I grew up in Boyle Heights, East LA area, but it's Boyle Heights. I grew up there until around the age of 7. At 7 years old, my mother moved us a little bit east, about 10 miles east, to the Monterey Park, Rosemead area. I was in Monterey Park maybe about a year, and then we moved to Rosemead, which is right down the street, and that's where my foundation is at. That's where I was raised. All my schools, junior high, everything. That's where it all started for me.
In Rosemead.
Rosemead, California. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
It's South San Gabriel, Rosemead. It has two names,
Yeah.
but most people know it as Rosemead.
Was there any gang affiliations then and there?
Yeah, I was I say was because that's no longer my life, but
Right.
I never technically got out, but
Yeah.
my neighborhood was Lomas, South San Gabriel,
So
in the city of Rosemead.
Lomas is a pretty notorious and known gang. Is there other Lomas, or is that like the only one?
There's another one in San Diego, which is Lomas 26th Street.
Okay.
Shout out to all of them. I got a few good friends from there. And then there's also another one, Harbor Lomas, which is in the Harbor area.
Okay.
So
Okay.
those are the two. Actually, there's three, but that's why we always say Lomas, South San Gabriel, and mostly everybody knows that's the Lomas that everybody knows in LA.
And I think when I hear Lomas, that's the one that I hear about.
Yeah.
But I might have heard the name here in San Diego as well.
hmm
What age did you get introduced to that gangst lifestyle?
I started fairly young, bro. I got introduced to the gang life right around the age of 8, 9. I would say 9, closer to 9, because I remember everything by grades. I was in the fourth grade, so that was 9. I started backing it up. I was still obviously a little kid, but I was already hanging around, coming around the hood right around that age. I didn't get uh, jumped in until I was 12. On my 12th birthday, actually in 1990, I got jumped in. But I started out pretty young, bro.
What did that jumping consist of?
Just the regular, you know what I mean? The regular, just we used to call it a cordon, you to see if it's basically like a little, just to see if you're gonna, hang and get down, get down for yours and swing back and all that.
Right.
Not everybody does. Some people, I've seen dudes, they're like, nah, it ain't going down, the dude probably didn't fight back, and I've even seen dudes get ran out, so
Oh wow.
but yeah, it's a just like a little initiation, bro. Nothing major. It's
Right.
pretty prominent in specifically in the LA area. There's other neighborhoods that do it differently, but I know for us, mainly for us Mexicans, that's usually how it goes down.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
hmm
Now at that time, you're young. I can imagine you're not doing anything major, or were you?
Nah,
Or it's all.
nah. I mean, you see stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's older homies already. You already seen some things, but at that age, you're still there's still innocence. There's still innocence about you. You're a kid. Now that I look back, I mean, I'm like, man, I didn't know nothing, man. I didn't know nothing. I have kids now, so
Yeah.
I look at my kids like, man, at this age, just a couple more years, man, I was already, in that life, and I really wasn't doing a whole lot, but as a year or two down, I did, start participating a little bit here and there, getting in fights and stuff like that. It's like a gradual
Right.
thing, and then of course before you get in, I mean, as far as at least in my neighborhood, that's all it was. Um, they wouldn't just get people in. You gotta, you gotta be there for a while, and it's not like other places where they just, hey, you want to get in? Boom, let's go. It wasn't
For
like that
sure.
right there.
So I read in an article there's approximately at the time 400 Lomas gang members, 400 give or take. Is that small enough where kind of everybody knows everybody?
Yeah, it was. Everybody knows everybody pretty much, and if you don't know somebody, for sure you heard of them.
Oh,
Like it's not like where you don't know each other. Pretty much, there's a lot of family, a lot of family connections. But yeah, we pretty much knew each other.
now is it one area, geographical area, like a neighborhood? Is it one neighborhood, or is it like different areas?
So so us, um we actually had a lot of area, bro. Square miles, I wouldn't be able to say,
Yeah,
but uh really from like Rosemead Boulevard, South Almani, and I would say all the way to like Garfield and Monterey Park. That's a big chunk. Even Atlantic, some would say, and then going south and north would consist of uh from the 60 freeway, and then going north to like Valley Boulevard. Some would say the 10 freeway. I would say Valley Boulevard. That's a big square mileage, and it's actually three cities. It's Rosemead, it's South San Gabriel, which is the hills, the heart of the neighborhood, and then uh, Monterey Park, a big chunk of Monterey Park, and even a little piece of Montebello, which is like
damn.
where the Montebello Town Center is at.
Yeah.
That's still that's actually right down the street from the heart of the neighborhood. So it's a big chunk, big area.
Was there rival gangs?
Yeah, we had
Common rival gangs.
we had rivals, all the way around, all the way around. Everybody that was around us. Usually that's how it is.
Right.
City of Almani, San Gabriel, Montebello, and going west is we're like the last or the first, I would say the first city in the San Gabriel Valley, next to East LA. So those neighborhoods, we would consider rivals. Not all of them, but there was some.
Now I asked that particular question. We got a lot of viewers from other states, man, even from other countries, and everybody always wonders, like, damn, how does Southern California move like that, right? Why do you guys move like
Yeah.
that? Why is LA like that off the hook? Um, what would happen in a, let's say, a neutral territory that borders, maybe a bordering gang rivalry, that kind of no fly zone? What kind of how do you
There are
conduct yourself
neutral
around there?
areas where places are considered neutral, like say Monterey Park. Like I said, a big chunk of it, I would say 2/3 of it would be considered our neighborhood, but there might be like a little quiet area where it's kind of neutral. There's not much going on there, and even parts of Rosemead where it's a more nicer, a little bit more suburbs type. And so yeah, there are neutral places, and nobody really claims it. But things will still get
Right.
cracking even over there, bro. Even like say like a city like Alhambra, which is kind of right next door. Even though there was little neighborhoods there, it was considered kind of neutral. So yeah, there is, bro. At least we're in my area. In other places like say South Central or Compton, it's probably might be a little bit different because there's a lot of neighborhoods there.
Hmm.
But even there's still, I'm pretty sure there's these little neutral areas.
So when it comes to Lomas and your participation in it, was there? I gotta be careful how I frame this question. Was there members that stood out compared to others, such as leaders, forthcoming, the way they would maybe carry themselves, presented themselves, maybe designated shot callers? At that time, were there certain individuals that were looked upon at a different light?
There's always certain individuals that, of course, are more seasoned
Mm,
that we look up to. And I'm pretty sure that's in every neighborhood, even outside the gang culture, right? It's
right,
it's it's like that everywhere, even like say in a job setting,
right.
in your in your land of expertise where you used to be at.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that everywhere. Um, and so I guess my answer would be yeah. There is, and then you even might become that as you grow, older, and you're more, you gain respect, and it's like a, uphill ladder, and then before you know it, there's new guys that they'll start looking up to you. But I wouldn't necessarily, I didn't see it like that. At least back then I didn't see
Right.
it like, oh, that guy's the shot caller. Like,
Right.
it's just a respecting. So yeah, that's pretty much how I looked at it.
And what years was this? You said early 90s?
Actually, late 80s, bro. I
Holy
started,
shit.
yeah, late 80s. I was born in 78. So I was 9 in 87. So I started right around then, bro. 87, 88, 89. I got jumped in 1990. So all the 90s, late 80s, all the 90s, all the early 2000s, all that, bro. The whole
Was it as wild as everybody says it was?
more, bro, because you can't describe you can't describe it, bro. There's no words. Only if you've been through it.
Yeah.
Only we know, bro. How it was. It was cracking.
How many did you have any close friends that were either killed and or incarcerated in prison?
Of course, man. I actually lost two good friends at a very young age, bro. Very, very young age. Actually, I lost them 1 month exactly after I got jumped in 1990.
Man.
I got jumped in November 27th, 1990, which was my birthday. They got killed December 29th of 1990, and it was two of them in one shot. So I was 12. I wasn't as young as I was when I first started, but I was still fairly young.
Yeah.
And I've shared this before, bro. It definitely has a impact on you as a young kid,
Yeah.
because it's hard to put into words, bro, but something happens once you experience death so close. And I'm not talking about family members. I'm talking about friends. Like, when you're in that gang life, when you experience that, bro, it's a trip, man. It's a trip because reality sets in. When you're young, you kind of just see like the cool part of it. You know what I mean? You're smoking your little weed. You're dressing, a certain way, and you're,
Yeah.
doing all the little, getting in fights at school and partying and all that. Little good stuff, as we used to call it back then. But like I said, reality sets in when something like that, and then, like I said, for me it was two, it was double. So I think it was a little extra for me. And I think that day something changed inside of me, and leading into the rest of my life, I've lost. I could go on forever, bro, just naming names of good homies that lost their life. And the other part of your question, of course, to the system, to the prison system.
Yeah.
Uh, lost homies at a very young age. A lot of homies got busted, did juvenile life, got out. Some are a lot of them, a big chunk of them are actually still in there. Uh, thankfully, some of them are getting out after years, bro. Well, I got one that just got out maybe last year after 30 years, bro. You
Man.
know, we were young, just young kids, bro, and I'm still in contact with quite a few of them that are still, in the battle, bro, trying to make
Yeah.
it out.
No, I'm tracking. When you started losing friends, did you feel like, oh shit, this got real? Like I can get got too?
Of course, yeah, of course, that crosses your mind. That's why I said it gets real, bro. Reality sets in. You're like, dang, that could be me, and you start thinking. You kind of start programming your mind where you're like, I know for myself, I could speak for myself, where I would walk out of my house, and I remember even my mom, she used to like, pray for me and all that stuff on my way out, and I would definitely be expecting even to not even come back, bro. I potentially can lose my life, bro, and it's a trip, man. When I look back, I'm like, man, we were just risking it, bro. Just every day, man, every day. I don't know how it is in the military. I think you've been in the military, right? I'm
Yeah.
sure you kind of have those kinds of thoughts where that. So I think I wouldn't compare it exactly to that, but there is a little how would I say something similar, right? Where you
Yeah.
have those similar thoughts.
So you would eventually find yourself in state prison. Is that right?
Yes, I found myself actually in the county jail first at the age of 16.
Damn.
Yeah, because I gave a fake name. I gave a alias, and I had a um what do you call it? What they call like you signed this paper where if you mess up in the juvenile system, that your next step is youth authority. And back then, if you go to YA, you stay stuck there because you're gonna be just it's gladiator school, you
Yeah.
know. And I remember my homies like, "Hey, lie about your age," and I remember when we got arrested, and I lied about my age and I gave them a fake name. Well, I ended up because I was on the run from juvenile stuff,
Yeah.
and I ended up in the county jail, in the LA County Jail at 16, and then shortly thereafter, I ended up in prison, the CDC before it had the R behind it.
Right.
Um, at the age of 17, which was my first day in prison, was December 5th, 1995, which was my wife's birthday. I'll never forget because that's my wife's birthday. And it was 1995.
Were you married back then or that happened
No,
afterwards?
I wasn't married back then, but I still remembered it. But it's crazy how now I could remember it,
Right,
especially
right,
now
right.
because that's my wife's birthday.
Right, right, right. So what prison, what main line did you end up touching down at around that time frame?
So I started getting in trouble off the bat, bro. I went to Delano, uh, got into a melee riot. We kicked off a riot right there in Sea Yard in Delano, with the whites. We ended up going to the hole. In the hole, started getting into all kinds of trouble. Sal extractions with the COs, bro. Just doing stuff in the yard, the little yards we used to go to,
Yeah.
having to do little things that we got to do in there,
Right.
and my point shot up, so I ended up actually right here down the street from where I live. I don't know, I think that's the prison that you were at, which is Calipat.
No, no,
uh,
Centinella.
oh, you were in Centinella. Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
was in Calipat. Sea Yard, it was still 4 back then. It's actually
Yeah.
the yard I got there right after. I don't know if you remember hearing about it when the blacks rushed the program office.
Yeah.
I believe it was the neighborhoods
No,
that did
no,
that.
East Coast Crips.
East Coast, yeah, neighborhoods, yeah, East Coast. They ran up in there. I got there right after that. And then it was like in a transition. They were transitioning it, trying to transition it to level 3, but I left, I think, before all that finalized. But yeah, I started out right there, bro. Level 4 Calipat. And I just started. That was my career, bro. That was my college. I started hitting everywhere, bro. Centinella 4, Centinella 3, Corcoran 4, Corcoran 3, Delano Mainline, Tehachapi 180, Sat F, New Corcoran 180, Chino Central. All Man, there's probably more, bro. And you know,
What
it was.
you had mentioned about an incident at Centinella that you were going to talk about.
Oh yeah. So, um, I've never shared this. I don't think I have, bro. But the reason I want to share is because there's a significant thing, bro. There's a significant connection that happened after I got out that's tied into that. So I'll try to give you the short version. So I started out in Centinela 4 in Sea Yard. I was there. My point shot down. They transferred me to A Yard. Um, they threw me straight in the gym, and I'm not used to, like, I wasn't trying to. You already know, like, I wasn't having no
Yeah.
gym life, bro. Like, that just wasn't me. I was used to Sal's, bro, being slammed down. Um, so anyhow, they throw us in there, and you're I don't know if you were around back then. This was '04 around
No.
there. They Somebody got hit in building 2 in the A Yard. This is when they had the bunks in the day room.
Yeah.
Um, and they put it was homies. They try to put we were all on lockdown the whole yard, but in the gym they try to put only the homies on our bunks. And we were like, what? Like initially they put everybody on their bunks, and
Right.
then they said, okay, everybody's off except Mexicans, and we were like, what? We were like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. We ain't gonna be in this open gym on our bunks, bro, while everybody's running around. So so we didn't participate in that lockdown, bro. And a little bit later, they came and tried to talk to us. I was kind of the main one, like instigating, and I was like kind of new, bro. Um, and I remember actually there was I don't know if you heard of there's a homie Diablo from Banning. He's a rapper. He was there with me.
Yeah.
Um, we ended up in the hole together. He was my neighbor, man. Shout out to Diablo. I think he got life again for a
Yeah.
hot one too. Um, but yeah, we basically we didn't cooperate. They came in. The lieutenant, I believe his name was Wilhelm. Wilhelm.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's his name, but he was the one I was the one that he was talking to, because I was kind of the one that was like instigating, like I said, and and I was like, look, I was like, it doesn't work like that, man. You're not gonna put one race of people on their bunks in a dorm setting. If you're gonna put, if you're gonna lock the facility down and you're gonna lock the gym down, everybody has to be locked down. You're not gonna just lock us down. At least I'm not gonna participate in that. And all the homies were like, yeah, yeah, like they were following suit. Um, and he's like, you guys got 30 seconds. I got the whole prison out there suited and booted, ready to come in and tear you guys, some around along those lines. And I was like, and you know what I mean? Like bring bring them in, and he didn't even wait 30 seconds, bro. They were there. They rushed in there, bro, and it was on and cracking, man. We were definitely outnumbered, but we held our own for a while, bro.
Yeah.
But they literally used 30 gallons of of OC pepper spray on us, bro. I know because I had it in my paperwork. On the tower, I think they have like they have like some type of hose. I don't know what it is. They literally sprayed us with 30 gallons of pepper spray, bro. It took a long time for them to stop it, bro. We ended up outside for I don't know how many hours, handcuffed with the little plastic,
Yeah.
what you call it, whatever. Um, and then we went to the hole to A5,
Yeah.
and then it was like 30 of us, bro. And not everybody participated.
Not
Not
everybody
not not
participated.
not not everybody. Later on, we found out.
And
It seemed like it was,
were
but there
those
was.
were those individuals, looked at bad upon for
Oh
not
yeah,
participating?
definitely, bro. You already know how it is, man.
Yeah.
It's one jump, all jump, and especially something like that, bro. Like you got to stick together,
God.
and and so yeah. But the unique detail that I wanted to mention is um I live out here in the Imperial Valley now in El Central, and I remember I had a little gathering here at my house, and I'll share a little bit about more about that towards the end
Yeah.
on what kind of gathering it was and stuff. But uh, uh, there's a guy that ended up being here, and we're just chopping it up while he ends up being a CO. I'll tell you
Yeah.
offline
Yeah.
who it was.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put him out there, but a CO, bro, that that was there, bro. He was there when all that happened, man. It's crazy. Tripped me out.
What did you guys end up getting charged with? Participation in a riot, staff
We
assault,
got charged initially. Yeah,
inciting?
initially I believe the staff assault, and then they dropped it because we basically like we got the there ain't no winning, bro. Like there ain't no winning going against the
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the cops, bro. Yeah, there might be you might be able to get one or two
Right.
and hurt them badly, but when it comes down to it, that's a war you ain't gonna win, bro. And so we knew that, but still, we got our pride, and you know what I mean. So yeah, it ended up getting dropped.
2005.
Could have
Okay.
been five. It
Well,
could have been
because
five.
the reason why I'm doing all the math in my head is because when I showed up, it was nothing but blacks in that gym. There weren't no Mexicans in that gym. The Mexicans were in Charlie
Where were
Gym.
you at? DR?
No, I was in Charlie Gym. That's where
Okay,
I
Charlie
started
Jim.
in 2007. But
Okay,
yeah,
so
all the gyms, because shit was kicking off
okay,
everywhere.
I was there in 7. I was participating in it all started on D Yard. I was on D Yard. I was involved in all of that. I actually went to the hole from D Yard for one of them things, and I
Yeah,
picked up a case. I
it
picked up a
started.
case.
Yeah, it started
I
on
went
D
to
Yard.
C6. It charted. Yeah, it started in D Yard, and I think it started a chain reaction. It got to the point where there was no programming. You know how in some
I'm
places,
let's talk about that real quick, man, because these viewers, there's a lot of newer generation COs, right, that never heard of a lockdown, will
yeah,
never
they don't
see
have
a
lockdowns no
lockdown.
more.
They don't have them no more. They pretty much got away with that sake, man.
Yeah.
But I recall I recall Delta Yard when I turned down. They said, "Hey, the blacks and the Mexicans just had a big ass riot. They fucking
Yep.
stabbed a bunch of people." And I was in Charlie Gym, nothing but sureños and paisas in there. And again, that's my like, what the hell? And the problem with that is it's all one race. All their attention is
Yeah.
putting their attention on green. So it kind
Oh
of
yeah,
sucks.
no doubt.
And then A Yard and B Yard was off the fucking hook. But yeah, one thing that used to happen, and it does not happen anymore, I know this for a fact, is that when one
Hmm.
thing used to pop off in one part of the prison, it used to
Hmm.
fucking carry over.
Yeah.
And that's what
Yeah.
you
No
just
doubt.
that's what you just
Yeah. No doubt.
explained.
Yeah. It started like that in the yard first, right? Building. It started in my building actually. Our building kicked it off. It's a long story, but
Right.
kicked off. And then boom. Every time like they would let another building, boom, it'll crack over there, and then cells would get cracked, medical passes, right?
Hey,
All that, bro.
would you agree that the heat in the summertime it got more wild?
Oh heck yeah, you already know, bro. That heat, any yard, bro. Calipat too. Any of these prisons, Ironwood, Centinella, Chuckawalla, um, that heat definitely causes anger, bro.
Big
It
time.
causes temperatures, not just temperatures to rise, but
Temp
tempers
right.
to rise, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Holy
On both
shit,
sides,
man.
even
No,
the
no, yeah, it's
COs.
hot as fuck. We gotta wear that vest. No, we gotta wear that vest. And then when there's a riot, you gotta carry all the stupid shit outside
Yep.
and you're standing in the heat for hours, you fucking pass out.
Before you guys didn't even wear that vest.
Yeah, that was
I
before my
remember.
time.
Yeah.
So holy shit, man. So there you were. Holy shit, man. There you were in the thick of it. Cause I was only working at Centinella and then Donovan. But for the people that did pass through Centinella, they're like, hey, that shit was pretty wild. That shit was pretty rocking during that period of time.
Yeah. Yeah. That time, um, it was, and it's a trip, bro, because I look back to it, and it extended for a couple years, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I trip out because it started right there, bro, right in my building. I ended up in C6. I
Dude. Oh,
picked
go
up a
ahead.
case, and I picked up a case. I actually stayed in C6 for almost a year, bro. I actually almost a year, over a year. I meant
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for over a year,
Right.
because they couldn't send me back. I had been to all the yards, except B yard. I was in B yard in '99, but my points were too high already. I was already a 180, not just level 4, but I was already 180 material, and so we actually got a shoe. I actually got a shoe, but I was there in the hole so long, my shoe, what do you
Right.
call it? It finished right there
Yeah.
in the hole, and excuse me, and then eventually I got shipped out to Tehachapi, 180, I believe 4A,
How was
I
that?
believe it was. Man, that prison sucked, bro. I mean, it was cool because I got to kind of connect with people I hadn't seen for years. There was this good, it had its good and it had its bad. The cells were those are the best cells I believe in the whole California prison system,
Why are they different?
Tehachapi, what they're big as heck, bro. The design, even though it's the 180 design, that 180 design is different than the other 180s.
Yeah.
The newer 180s are sections A, B, C, and it's all in one shot. Over there, it's designed differently. It's hard to explain,
Okay.
but the cells are big, bro. Big old space. You know that space, like say in the 270 design. You know that the just the little walkway we have next to the bunks, the space that we have to
Yeah.
walk in. Over there, bro, it's like double that,
Damn.
and it's yeah, it's a lot of space, bro. It's like, and then the windows are like from the top all the way to the bottom. Like they're
Damn.
not just the size. Yeah, they're not the size of the windows like right on top of the table like in the 270. Over there, the windows are from literally like almost by your feet all the way to the top.
What about the bunks? Same thing. One on the bottom, one on the
The
top.
bunks are kind of the same. Yeah, the bunks are kind of the same, but it's just the cells are big as heck, bro. So as far as that was cool, but it was just there's no grass. It's all concrete. The
Yeah.
yard is all concrete. And they used to play games, bro. I thought Centinella was bad. I thought Centinella was bad when it came to just the program. Nah, bro. Tehachapi was the worst, bro. We ended up going to the hole from there.
They're old school over
Uh
there in Tehachapi, man.
yeah, they threw some, I don't know who it was, but they dropped some kites saying that we wanted to assault the staff, the Mexicans, and they snatched up all whoever they thought was like a factor there,
Yeah.
took us all to the hole, and we all ended up in different prisons. They shipped everybody out to the Bay, Folsom. I ended up in Sat F, Corcoran, High Desert, all that.
Well, to their defense, the Southerners did eventually rush the program off
Yeah,
and
I know. Yeah.
stab the shit out of the sergeants and lieutenants.
Well, that was going on for like 3-4 years, bro.
Damn.
That was going on. It was in the air. I was there. I was just making a little quick pit stop, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I never heard none of that.
Yeah. Damn, dude. Fuck. There. Holy shit, man. So you were touch and go at Tehachapi. Where'd you go after that?
After that, I was actually endorsed and transpacked to go to High Desert.
Oh man.
What's crazy is that the day that I left, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'll be honest. I actually um I actually prayed, and I wasn't like a religious person, at least back then, or nothing like that. But I remember saying a prayer because I wanted to go home, and I had some personal issues with an individual up there, and I just had a feeling I was gonna land there, and that it was gonna go down. It's not like fear. I wasn't scared. I just wanted to go home, bro. I wanted to make it home, and I was like, man, I had already picked up a case in Centinella, so I had already lost my date. I didn't want to lose another date, bro. My mom was sick at the time. My mom since then passed away, but but because of that, I remember saying a prayer, and so trip out that day, bro. When they pulled me out, I'm thinking I'm going to High Desert. I'm transpacked. I'm endorsed to High Desert. And the bus, I see the boxes, and they say, I didn't even know what SATF was. It
Yeah.
said SATF. I'm like, the heck is that? And I'm like, hey, what time does the High Desert bus leave? We were in R&R, right?
Yeah.
When they take you from the south to before they get on the bus.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's no bus going to High Desert. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm going to High Desert. Like, no, you're not. You're going to SATF. I was like, what's SATF? They're like, Corcoran, New Corcoran. You're going to the 180 in Corcoran. And I was like, what? And I didn't argue. I was like, all right.
How long was your initial term for?
My initial term was 32 months with 80%. I
32
ended up
months
with 80, yeah.
And
I ended up doing the whole thing. I maxed out the
Yeah.
whole. Yeah.
Dude,
I
you
did.
were like that's a hell of a 32 months hitting those spots at those times.
Yeah. I did the whole 32 months and actually in Centinella, I went to the court right here where I live now in El Centro. I was going to court from C6 Centinella, and and they were trying to stretch me out, bro. They
That
were
was
trying to
for
stretch
your
for
possession charge
possession of
that you got on
a
Delta Yard?
weapon of a, yeah. of a weapon. They hit our. 'Cause- So back then, I was in D1, and you know, cells used to mysteriously crack open. Uh,
Sometimes.
sometimes, right?
Well,
And
those you just push a button and they pop.
yeah, yeah. So I had my theories about it, but it would. I was on a tier with all blacks. It was only me, my celly, and my neighbor. I had a neighbor from Pomona and Pacoima. The rest of the cells, bro, we were in 10, I believe 104. The homies were in 103, and all the rest of the cells, A section, were all black. And so we were on our toes, bro. So they were doing showers, and so we were we were kind of ready. So they cracked our door open, and when we jump up, they rushed us, bro. And it was the
Damn.
COs. It was the COs though, and it was the COs rushing us, bro. And
They
I'd rather get caught slipping with it, you know.
they might have had that. That sounds like they had information of some sort to hit the pad like that
I think so, bro. I
because
think
yeah, because if it's on lockdown, you guys are supposed to be in restraints, fucking prior to exiting the cell, and they just pop the door.
yeah,
There you go, thinking you're about to go to war, and it's a fucking CO's right there
yeah, and
hitting the
you're
pad.
right, bro. Maybe it was neighbors. Sometimes they hear the
Well, I mean, just
sharpening and
from hearing that, I mean, fuck, I mean, I wouldn't normally just take it upon myself to go hit a pad like that for no reason, especially if I'm gonna walk into somebody with a knife. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
For
exactly.
safety reasons.
And it
Um,
was a big old bone crusher. It was a. I don't
I could
even know.
I could laugh now because I'm out, man.
Yeah. Hey, I don't
Fuck
even,
that.
bro. Honestly, I
Fuck
don't know
that.
what were the material, but it was literally something like this, and it was like a triangle, and it was thick, bro. It was like big old thing. It was in my shoe, bro. But yeah, bro. I picked up a case, and I was 2 months to the pad, bro.
God
I was like,
damn.
man, I think I could
Now
make it.
you had a celly.
Yeah, I had a Sally.
They both.
I had a cop to it, bro, because obviously if you say I don't know who it is, you're basically saying it's it's the other dudes, you know. So I immediately I had a cop to it, you know. So they snatched him up too, but he ended up going back. They put him back in the cell, and I went to the hole.
So that was a thing, man. And then sometimes it is a thing, sometimes it's not a thing. I guess it's up to discretion. I guess it's up to the lieutenant and or the captain. Like, hey, are you gonna charge them both in possession of a weapon? Is one of them gonna take the blame? Are you gonna charge one of them with constructive
Yeah.
possession? You know what I mean?
Well,
Just
they were initially they were,
right.
and I'm not trying to get. I made it that long, bro. I wasn't trying to, I already knew the game. I was like, hey, just so you guys know that's all me right there, man. This dude didn't even know I had that, you know?
And I bring that up because one time I was driving a cart back to C6, escorting some inmates back to C6. And I was just ear hustling over here in the conversation, and one of them said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna take the blame for that. I'm gonna take the blame for that. You didn't know nothing about that."
Yeah.
And I know that dude had like 2 strikes or something. I'm like, "Fuck, this fool's about to get himself struck out for the homie." Like, hell nah, man. I would have fucking PC'd up on the spot, but that's me personally.
Yeah, you have to, bro. Once you're in that,
Yeah,
once you when you already know you ain't going that route ever, like
right.
you already know you gotta do what you gotta do, man. You know?
So you get out, and I want you to lead me into the topic of how you got into some your story, man. That part.
Okay. All right. So it all actually started back then
Yeah.
in that time frame. Was I got arrested for that case when I ended up in Centinella, 2003, which was actually on my birthday. Which was what was that? Let me see. 13 years later after I got jumped in, I remember because it was my birthday. It was Thanksgiving Day. I went on a high speed chase uh, in the city of Alhambra, El Sereno, for being up to no good, bro. And they caught us for I mean, not absconding, felony evading, possession of a firearm. Eventually, they dropped the firearm. I pled to what do you call it? felony evading. Got the 32 with 80. Um, and during that time is is kind of where it was a trip, bro. Those years, it was like I was actually awakening. I was maturing a lot, bro. Mentally, I was awakening to a lot of the things that are of the world. Back then, it was just all the hood, the hood, the hood, the gang life. Like it was just that little. That was it, bro. That was my life, and I started kind of like just becoming more conscious. I would say more conscious of the way life is. You know, a lot of things that exist that I didn't know existed back then. Um, and so I ended up doing those. It was 4 years, pretty much exactly. I ended up in Sat F, as I said, after Tehachapi. I put in. So remember when they took us from Tehachapi to the hole for that so-called
Yeah.
attempted or
Conspiracy.
whatever conspiracy to assault a correction officer, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Um, they had to give me that time back. I lost time. They snatched us up based on one kite, bro.
Yeah.
And you know, and so I ended up getting that time back. So they cracked my door open on January 1st of 2008. Um, it was a surprise release. They cracked my door open. We were actually on lockdown there again for the same thing, bro. Someone
Damn.
dropped a kite saying the Mexicans were gonna assault a staff, bro.
Yeah.
Like it was the same exact thing, bro. Straight deja vu. And they cracked the door open. Um, Once again, boom, we jump up, we jump up like what's going on? It was
Yeah.
early in the morning, and they're like Gonzalez. I was under an alias. Remember, I gave a fake name when I was young. Well, that name stayed with me through my whole prison career. My prison name was George Gonzalez, which that's not my name. My name's Isaac Pedroza. So that was my name. When you go to CDC with a specific number and a specific name, that's you. Doesn't matter if you had a eight. That's whatever name you give them. That's you, even though if it's a fake name. I'm pretty sure you probably know that. So I ended up getting out on New Year's of that day. I was out a month and a half. I moved to Rancho Cucamonga. I actually had a 602. I went back to my neighborhood, but I wanted to move my sister. I wanted to get out. I had plans to just stay the heck out, bro. Do good, get a job, find a girl, start a family, all that good stuff. Um, and I had a 602 Sacramento because they didn't want to let me move to IE, bro. They didn't want to let
Yeah.
me transfer my parole, and I'm like, you guys are supposed to, encourage us to stay out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at writing, bro. That's kind of my thing. So I put something, a little good little something. I sent it up, and they basically had no choice, bro, to grant it. Granted it. They transferred my parole to Ontario. And on February 13th, they raided. I was actually in Whittier at one of my homeboys' houses. They raided my sister's house. She called me up, all mad, like scared. Hey, they just hit the, they just came over here searching the house. They raided the house. My sister's never been involved in nothing,
Okay.
bro.
Yeah.
She's like totally square, bro, when it comes
Yeah.
to all that. And and she's like, he was mad, your PO, how come you weren't there? And I'm like, I don't have to be at the house. I'm not a home arrest. So anyhow, she said he seemed real serious. So I kind of put two and two together. Um, and I remember one of my homies, the homie I was there, I told him, you know what, bro? I think they raided because they're looking for me for this case, bro. I was like, what do you think I should do? And he had fought a murder before '97, and he actually got out. And he gave me some advice, bro. He ended up saying, just go, bro. Like, you don't got nothing to hide. Um, and so I ended up going to see my pro officer on February 14th, which was Valentine's Day of 2008. And I walked right into a room full of, you know, homicide detectives, gang unit, all these different people. They try to question me about this murder that took place in 1998, 10 years prior. Uh, they try to kind of turn me against one of my older homeboys that was in Pelican Bay at the time, um, which they didn't want him to get out. They try to get me to so-called cooperate, but I didn't. I was like, how am I gonna cooperate on something I have, no knowledge of, and so um, they offered me my freedom, bro. They try to scare me, all that, and I didn't cooperate, obviously, and they slapped the cuffs on me, and I
Damn.
spent the next 5 long years in the Los Angeles County Jail fighting that case, bro. And I actually represented myself. I was my own attorney for 3.5 years, approximately 3.5 years, pro se litigant, also as they call it. And there's so much, bro, in that 5 year span that happened. I could tell you story after story, but that's pretty much the bulk of it,
Man.
bro.
So,
Is
okay. Wow. Oh, man. Oh, man. So they slapped the cuffs on you.
hmm
What was going through your mind? Like, hey, fuck it, I'm just gonna write this out.
yeah, bro. I mean, it wasn't like that, like tough boy status.
Yeah, yeah,
It definitely hit me, bro.
yeah,
I definitely, on my way from the parole office to the Temple City Sheriff Station, I'm in the back seat.
yeah.
I'm definitely, shedding some tears, not crying all crazy, but
Right.
definitely like I was just thinking about my mom, really. Um, because I had already promised her over and over, bro. Remember, I picked up a case in Centinella. I had already She used to go. She had never really
Right.
went to go see me anytime I was in the hole, but
Right.
she had showed up when I was in the hole with my sister, and I was like, don't worry, I'm not gonna get that much time. Once I get out, that's it. I'm done. So for me to get arrested, not only for just to get arrested, but to get arrested for murder, not to know if I'm ever gonna get out, it was tough, bro. I
Yeah,
ain't going
did
front, man. It was.
did they tell you what you were being charged with?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you're under the arrest for the murder of Whoop De Whoop, um, and conspiracy to murder. So that's two.
Now,
Those are two 25 to life sentences
holy
with special
fuck, dude.
circumstances. It could have it carried the death penalty too.
So, I mean, just to throw this out there, the alleged murder happened in the past, right? In the
It
90s?
happened in 1998,
1998, this year is now we have now fast forwarded to what year?
2008,
2008.
2008.
So it is just fair to assume that new information had been discovered, which in turn led to your
Yes,
arrest.
yes. New information via uh someone,
Confidential
um
informant.
not really a confidential informant, an actual co-conspirator,
Holy
um,
fuck. To taking a
came
deal.
out. He was in Calipat, actually, already convicted of the murder, already pled out 15 to life to the murder. They approached him to cooperate. He was, I believe, in the 4 yard, I think
Yeah,
A
yeah,
yard
yeah.
or B yard in Calipat.
Right.
He obviously cooperated. He went in that day. He went into protective custody.
Yeah, man.
Um, and shortly thereafter, I got arrested.
Okay.
Uh, and my homeboy got arrested, my older homie. And there was another guy that was living in Ohio. He's actually
Oh,
still in jail for that murder. He's the only one right now that's incarcerated for that murder. I guess we'll get to that part in a little
wow.
bit, but yeah, they
So,
arrested him in Ohio,
so I
but
just,
he actually made a statement. He made a statement, so
so okay.
yeah.
It was a touchy subject, right? And I told you I don't like to,
Mhm.
I like to tippy toe around these type of conversations. But just wanted the viewers know that hey, this is how this dude got arrested because somebody had already been charged with a murder, decided to, in essence, debrief and started singing like a canary. Next thing you know, this guy's getting gaffled up in the parole agent office, man. Son of
Yeah, and
a
it's crazy
bitch.
because you know what? I was arrested illegally, bro. It was an illegal arrest. You know why?
Why?
Because you cannot be arrested. It's like, say me and you, uh, we're not, we aren't me and you. We grew up somewhere in, I don't know, Las Vegas, right? But or let's just say San Diego, and we're friends. We do a crime. Um, I end up going to prison for the crime, and then 10 years later, I come out and I say, hey, actually, Hector actually did this. That's not enough. Not for a murder. That's not enough for them to go out and get you. They can't do that. They have to have some type of corroborating evidence, independent evidence, whether it be physical evidence, testimonial evidence. And so the arrest warrant that they had for me,
Yeah.
it had no supporting affidavit. Anybody that knows anything about law knows that anytime someone has an arrest warrant for you, there's something called a supporting affidavit, which is actually the weight to that arrest warrant.
God.
There's no weight to a piece of paper without a judge signing off saying that, you know what, this is a supporting affidavit. This is a legal arrest. Later on, I found out it was a legal arrest when I started fighting myself, defending myself. My lawyers didn't even bring this up.
They didn't?
I No, I stumbled upon it after I got all my discovery. I was like, hold up. I started reading into law and schooling myself. I was like, hold up. There's no affidavit to support this arrest warrant. So I started attacking that issue. But I had already went through my prelim. If I would have attacked that before my prelim, I probably would have got out. But because my prelim happened, it was already kind of too late. But I was still attacking the issue because the judge had discretion to either, rule on that. But yeah, bro, it's crazy. There was a lot of holes in the case, but that's just one of them.
You know, since I've since I've been away from the department for a little over a year now, I've been seeing different things, and I'm like, God damn, man! Like, certain things happen, certain things don't happen, and it's just like it's very interesting. It's interesting, I'll tell you that much. Um, you're in freaking jail for 5 years, man. You have action to like law library. Do you have action to legal paperwork? Do you have action to
Yes.
lawyer calls?
So yes, all of the above, but it's limited. And so what I would do is we would go to this so-called law library, which is really just a small room with these screens attached to the wall. Within these screens, you have these touch screens. You have access to different law books, case law. So what I would do is I would go in there, I would dig in, write everything down on notebooks, write down exact. I wouldn't do no reading of like long reading there. I would go in there specifically just to see what I need. Then I would communicate that to what we called a legal runner, which was an ex girlfriend I had back then. I would give her all this information either through the phone, through visit, or through a letter. Um, she would then go print out all of these case laws or go
Wow.
go get me all these books, and she would bring me stacks, literally
Wow.
stacks of case laws. I would get them through the attorney room, and then I would go back to that cell, and I turned into little baby Johnny Cochran, little Juan Cochran, bro. Started started just, what I mean, just soaking it in, bro, soaking it in, reading, reading, reading. And that's rare, bro. It's rare that unfortunately for homies, for anybody, bro, that they don't really have that. Uh, I'm not gonna say mind, bro. For that, there is a lot of solid, smart individuals, especially the blacks. There's a lot of blacks that they pop that law pretty good, bro. I learned a lot from them. But not everybody has. I wouldn't use the word courage, but it's somewhere along those lines because you basically have to go in there and you have to fend for yourself and you have to know what you're doing, bro. If you go in there and you kind of mess up too much, you're gonna lose that pro per status.
Is
And
uh
so
is the reason that you did that tactic is because you didn't have that much time in the law library, so you just went and got the headlines, and then that way you can have
yes,
more time?
because you don't have that much. You would only have like an hour, hour and a
Oh,
half.
okay.
That you there's nowhere
Okay.
you're nowhere near to what the other side has. The other side has paralegals to do stuff for them.
Right.
Another resource I had was a PI. You hire these PIs through the court panel. There's a court panel of approved PI, private investigators. You find the one that you want. You call him, see if he'll take your case. They come visit you, and then you guys collaborate. And so what I would do is I would do my homework. Okay, what do I need investigated? Where I need pictures from here. I need you to go talk to this person. I need to, and so that's what I would do. I would send them on missions. Boom, go do this, go do that. He'll bring me back the info. And so I basically put the case together.
Was
Like,
all this
I mean,
costing money?
yeah, bro. Is costing me, definitely is costing money. The printing, all that costs money, right? Ink just to
Yeah.
get stuff printed. I had to find. We would have to find different resources where I would send my ex girl to, like, there's some places where they'll even let you print for free a certain amount of
Yeah.
stuff. Um, just different little things that you would look into
Um,
to be able to help you defend your case.
Up until that point, had you ever heard the term? Because I've heard this term before. The person that represents themselves is representing a fool for a client or something like that. You had ever heard that?
Of course, yeah, they definitely, especially the court system, they try to dissuade you, bro. The judges, the attorneys, lawyers, even everybody, bro. They do everything they can to dissuade you from uh exercising your I forget what amendment it is, but it's your Ferret. In California it's called your Ferretta rights. Actually, this is a federal case law. Your Ferretta rights, which is your right to represent yourself. um
Why do you think they were
and
trying to prevent that or dissuade?
because it costs resources. It's resources for them.
Uh huh.
A lot of people pimp the system. They
Yeah.
just want to use it for other reasons,
Yeah.
for subpoena power. You know
Uh
what I
huh.
mean? Stuff like that. And they don't. These people go to school, years of law school. And then for them to have someone off the streets, a hoodlum, a gang member in there trying to do they're actually offended by it,
Do
bro.
you get
Yeah,
any type of law powers? Do you know how lawyers have to pass a bar exam or something like that? Do you actually get those type of powers?
yeah. you
I'm asking for this for a
you
reason,
you
man. Like
you
because this
become
is
your
interesting.
own you become your own lawyer, and so anything that they do, you have a right to do yourself. Obviously you're limited, but you still have those rights. That's what I'm saying. They go to law school to get the right to do that. You don't have to go to law school to have the right. Under the US Constitution, every man has a right to defend himself and to speak for himself
Now,
before a judge.
two-part question. Could you request evidence and did they present evidence?
Of course, it's called discovery. So once you become your own attorney, they put this called discovery in your hands, and usually that comes from the district attorney. But what happens is that the prosecutor, they hold back a lot of stuff, and so you have to know, you have to dig in, and you have to know what exists. And so you have to go into that courtroom, you have to file motions, and you have to request certain things. They'll give you the basic stuff, police reports, stuff like that, but there's
Yeah.
other stuff, there are other things that exist that they don't want you to get your hands on, especially if you're in jail. And so tapes, they got CDs, videos, tapes, interviews. I had all of that, bro. I had the ability to go transcribe all of these tapes.
Yeah.
And you have to file motions. You have to even know that all that stuff exists. So anybody that ever did an interview regarding my case, people that they questioned about my case that wasn't even involved in that case, they would just ask them, "Hey, do you know anything about this?" People that were already cooperating on other
Right.
cases.
Right.
And so I would have their interviews. And if they participated in any other
Yeah.
trials, now that they spoke on my case, I have
Wow.
the right to request their trials, whatever they. So I had
Wow.
I had stacks and stacks, bro, of different trials that weren't even related to my case because they had spoke on my case. So I have the right subpoena anything that has to do with them. I
Tomorrow
had
tomorrow you're gonna have the whole prison system requesting to be their own attorney, man.
it. I would encourage, bro. I mean, first of all, I would encourage you not to do anything stupid enough to get you in
Correct.
jail, right?
Hell yeah.
But if you're there, if you're fighting a serious case, even if, because I eventually ended up getting an attorney, I didn't go to trial pro per. But if you're fighting a serious case, I would encourage you to go pro per at least for a specific amount of time in order to educate yourself on your own case, because there are things that even your own attorney will keep from you. And
Wow.
if your life's on the line, I would say you have every right to know what they have. That's the beauty of living in a country like we live in. You know,
Yeah.
I love our country because we have those rights. You don't have that right in other countries. You guys see you got that flag back there. I'm Mexican, but I love being an American because we have
Yeah.
those rights, bro. At least still right now. I don't know how it's gonna be in the future. Um, but
They be
yeah, bro.
they be playing games though, man. I've been requesting video footage from CDCR. They be holding that shit back from
Yes,
me,
sir.
man.
You gotta fight for that, bro. You gotta fight. You know, the Freedom of Information Act is a powerful
Right.
tool
Right.
for us to use. There's a lot of stuff, but yeah, sometimes you're gonna have to wrestle for that.
So what if I could ask or if you want to share, what made you
Mhm.
decide to go with a lawyer or to change
Um,
it up?
so I knew that even though, I mean, I'm gonna keep it real, bro. I was not an attorney. I wasn't trying to pretend I was an attorney. I was doing it because I had to do it, bro. I was literally, my hand was forced, bro. I did have attorneys prior to that. They were trucks. I had to fire them. They were turning on me. I had three different attorneys. That's a whole nother story. But I knew that when trial came, I'm just not equipped to be able to. I'm pretty sure I could have did it. Now that I look back, bro, now that I've been through a trial and I kind of know how it works, but at the time I was walking in there blindly. I
Right,
didn't know
right,
what,
right.
you know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
because there's a lot of stuff that comes into it, bro. Jury instructions, the cal
Yeah.
crim, the cal
Yeah.
jig, the all these different these different elements. And so
When you got to yell
keeping it
objection, your honor objection.
yeah, keeping it real, there was a fear of that, bro. I was
Right.
kind of like so I knew that eventually I would need an attorney. And so what I did is I wanted to know the ins and outs of my case. I wanted to do all the legwork, all the groundwork. And so that eventually when I did get an attorney, if I ever even got the resources to get at least a decent attorney, to be able to hand them that. And so that's what happened. So what I did is towards the end of my pro per status, I started interviewing all the top notch attorneys in the LA area, all the known attorneys, the bulldogs, the trial attorneys, which is names like Bill Pittman, Andrew Flyer, Alex Kessel, Garagos. You even got even Cochran. Back then, I believe Darden, which was OJ's one of the DAs, he became an attorney. Shapiro, all these different attorneys. I didn't interview all of them, but most of them I interviewed most of them. And at this point I was actually praying, bro. At this time I was growing kind of in my faith in God. I started just putting my life in God's hand. I wouldn't say I was a Christian or none of that, but I definitely had my belief in God, bro, and in the Bible. And so I knew that at the right time I was gonna be able uh I was gonna get what I needed, bro. And so that's what I did. I just started praying, bro. And there was this one attorney, his name is Alex Kessel. He's a Jew. Shout out to Alex Kessel, out of Encino, California. Um, awesome dude, bro. That dude, um, he said that for my case, my case was a high profile case, and you guys could go look at it. You could Google my name, Isaac Pedroza or Sticks from Lomas. You'll see all kinds of stuff pop up. Um, from back then, even and so my case normally he said would go around, it would starting 75 G's and up,
Damn.
75,000 and up. He took my case. He said, you know what? He said, I really feel something about you, and I will take your case if you're able to come up with at least, I don't remember if it was 5 or 7,000 down payment, and I could pay the rest in payment. He took my case for 35 G's, bro, 35,000. And normally, man, 75 G's, bro, like that was a straight blessing. And another little thing that happened, it was, to me, it was a straight miracle, bro, from God, bro. Like someone provided that money, bro. Not all in one shot, but they actually in they I got the down payment, and then they paid the rest of it for me in payments, bro, for me to get that attorney. So that's why I actually felt strongly to go with that guy, bro, and I went with him. So uh I ended up with that attorney, Alex Kessel.
Man. Wow. Dude. So you went with the attorney. He picked up what you gave him. He freaking
Mhm.
broke. He broke you off a good deal.
Mhm.
And what happened, man? Did you go to trial?
So I went to trial two April of 2012. I just had the what do you call that? Anniversary. I went to trial. I believe it started April 4th or 5th, somewhere around there. Didn't last that long. It lasted maybe about 3-4 days. There wasn't a whole lot of witnesses. They only had that one dude, and they had one other supposed corroborating witness, a female, one of the co-defendants, ex-wives.
Yeah.
She actually testified the opposite of what he testified. So she she was a prosecution witness. She actually basically was like a defense witness
For you.
for me. You know, it worked
Right.
more in my favor. She
Right.
actually implicated the guy that was testifying against me. She didn't have no kind of knowledge of me being involved in any way, shape, or form in that murder. And so her testimony actually, not only um not only uncorroborated what he said, it actually worked in my favor. And so we went to trial. They had, of course, sheriffs on there, detectives, um, trying to tear me down, trying to point out the history of the gang, like you mentioned when we first started, the 400
That's
Lomas gang
that
members.
that's fine that they're trying to bring up the history, but were they hitting you with anything effectively? Like that pinpointed you there, or hey, motherfucking
They didn't have nothing, bro.
smoking gun, here's a
None of
fucking
that. All they were hitting me with is that I'm a hardcore gang member. I got tattoos all over my head. I got significant. They put my, I got a significant tattoo on my back arms.
Yeah.
It says Hills Kills, and so they put that up big, bro, up there in the screen
Was there a
to show.
jury?
It was a jury, yeah, jury trial, and and they basically, um I wasn't on trial. I wasn't disputing the fact that I was a gang member, bro. I wasn't
Correct.
on trial for being a gang member. I was on trial for murder, but they focused on that, on me being a gang member, all that stuff. Um, and like I said, I wasn't disputing that, and my lawyer did a good job of bringing that out.
Right.
But, but it works, bro. What they do, it works in influencing the
Oh,
mind
of
of
course,
the
of
jury,
course, of
because
course.
during trial they're looking at you, bro. They're studying you. That jury is literally look. You're sitting there on the side of the fence next to your lawyer. They're looking at you literally that whole time, bro, and they're studying you. They're looking at your body language. They're looking at your responses of how you respond when certain people say certain
Yeah.
things, defense and prosecution. And so, and there, I had long hair, but they're probably like, oh yeah, this guy. They're looking at the tattoo. They probably didn't know I had tattoos on my head, so they're probably like, oh, he's trying to hide his tattoos. You
Like
know,
like long hair, or did you have it
no,
faded
no,
up?
I just had, I
Yeah,
had slick back hair, the
yeah,
regular old
yeah.
old school comb over, So I'm speculating. I'm assuming what's going
Right,
on
right.
in the minds of the jury, but obviously they were affected by that, and they came back on April 11th of 2012 with the verdict,
Yeah,
and it was pretty. It was, from what I hear, from what I heard, it was two people that were not budging, and they were like, nope, not guilty, not guilty. Eventually, they said that the foreman, because there's always one head guy in that
yeah.
jury pool, and he's like the one that pretty much navigates all that. He convinced them. They ended up convicting me of murder, April 11th, 2012.
What the hell? They ended up
Yeah,
convicting you?
yeah, I got convicted, bro. I got convicted of murder.
Hey, the whole time I'm thinking that you didn't get convicted and you got to
Nah,
walk.
nope, I got convicted, bro.
Holy shit, dude. And this is kind of why I'm glad that we didn't talk about this prior so
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
see the fucking reaction.
yeah.
Holy shit, dude. So when you I tend to watch a lot of true crime documentaries, man, and they read the verdict. When you heard the judge say it, what did you think, man?
It hurt, bro. Obviously, it hurt. It stung, and it affected me. But I guess now is a safe time to bring this part of myself in, of this element. At this time, I I'm still, I'm still who I am,
Yeah,
or who I was, Sticks,
right.
right, from Lomas, and but I started growing in my faith, in my
Yeah,
relationship with the Lord. Um, and deep down, I knew that I was gonna get out, that He was gonna get me out of this. And there was still a peace about me, bro. And I've shared this before, but for your viewers' sake, there was a peace I had within me that I knew I was gonna get out. And I remember my wife; she still talks about it when she shares, sometimes, that I got to talk to her on the phone when I got back to the county jail. So I'm driving back on that bus from the court, being convicted of murder, back to the county jail. It's not a long ride. And yeah, bro, there was tears, again, little quiet tears, bro. Um, but like I said, there was an inner peace within me. I get back, I jump on the phone in the shower. I was in a place called 1750 in High Power in the county jail, and the phone was in the shower back then. So I'm talking to her. She wasn't my girl. She wasn't even my girl back then. She was just a friend that she brought my jury clothes, and she was there for the trial. And I was laughing, bro, joking around with her. And I remember her saying, "How could you be laughing? You just got convicted of murder." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I know that the Lord's gonna set me free. I know it." And I always look back to that, bro. But like I said, yeah, bro, obviously it hurt. It hurt. I remember my homeboy, my my homeboy, my co-defendant, my homeboy Lalo. I mean, everybody knows his name. My homeboy Lalo was two cells down from me. Um, and I remember he slid me a daily bread. You know those daily breads that they have?
sounds
It's
familiar.
it
Yeah,
They have these little like Christian
prayers.
little
Yeah,
prayer, like little books,
right.
that has like these little devotionals, and they're
Yeah,
prominent in prison. So he slides me the one for April 11th, for that date,
yeah,
and I look inside of it and I read it, and it was just on point. It was significant. It was like the words just jumped out at me, and it was about a door of opportunity, about the Apostle Paul. The Apostle Paul, he used to murder Christians, bro. He used to literally drag Christians and throw them in prison back then. And but he converted. Jesus, he had an encounter with Jesus. It's called the Damascus Road encounter. And he changed his life, bro. He gave his life to Christ. And he said that in that script, that verse that was used for that daily bread was, "An effective door has opened, And what that spoke to me was that because I got convicted, it's gonna be that much more powerful to for me to be able, when I testify, when I do what I'm doing now here on your platform, to be able to talk about this. Um,
Right.
it's gonna be that much more powerful to prove that it wasn't me that was doing it, and I was
Yeah.
pro per and all that. It was him. He had a plan,
Right.
and he wanted to demonstrate that he could do anything and that he had a purpose for my life. And so that spoke to me, bro. And so just for so you guys could know, um I immediately, me and Alex Kessel, my attorney, we filed with the courts. We filed what is called a retrial motion. We immediately filed for um insufficient evidence. Because remember back to what we spoke about with the warrant. You
Correct.
cannot have a conviction for a murder, Penal Code 1111, unless there be corroborating evidence, corroborating testimony, any kind of independent evidence. There has to be something that corroborates what that co-conspirator says. You cannot have uh uh how does it say on Penal Code 1111? The actual wording, I'm trying to remember it, but it says a conviction cannot be held unless a corroborating. Yeah, if you look it up, Penal Code 1111, it's a trip how it says it. It's pretty short. It says a conviction cannot be had unless a corroborating.
A,
Uh,
a conviction
Go ahead.
cannot be had upon the testimony of an accomplice unless it has been corroborated by such evidence as shall tend to connect the defendant with the commission of the offense. Holy shit. You,
Yes.
you learn something every day, man. I the first
Yes.
time I ever heard of this.
Yep.
Man,
There
I'm
it
gonna take
is.
a I'm gonna take a screenshot now that I plan on doing anything crazy anytime
Yeah.
soon. But hey, like you said, man, knowledge is power, man.
That penal code set me free.
Other than that, they'll gaffle your ass up in a parole agent office for no reason.
Yeah. That. Well, it wasn't just that penal code, but that penal
Right.
code was part of getting me free because there was no evidence, bro. They had insufficient evidence, but I still got convicted.
So
And so, go ahead.
so my experience with the penal system or the justice system is like, yeah, you can show them something that good, that black
Mhm.
and white. But in my head is you don't think they're like, ah, yeah, whatever, boom, we're gonna do what we want anyways, or you didn't encounter that.
That does happen, bro. Unfortunately, for many people, it happens because they don't have the resources, bro. They don't have the money. You
To
know,
fight it, to fight the fight.
money is power, as they say. It does make things better. You know, money isn't everything in life, but money
Right,
does.
right,
You know, especially in these kinds of cases.
correct.
I've seen so many homies,
You,
and not just homies, dudes of all races. I always say homies because that's
I hear what you're
who I'm
saying.
closest to in there, but um I seen so many people get railroaded, bro.
In your whole
And
life, had you ever encountered anybody else with your similar circumstances?
never, no. Nope. Never, bro. And remember, I didn't know like I was a gangbanger, bro. Like I didn't know nothing about this, bro, but I had to I had to wake up, bro, and if I wanted to get out, I had to do my part in digging in.
Um, wow, dude. So, did you view it as a personal attack on you? Like law enforcement was personally coming after you? What did you view it as?
I viewed it first as a personal attack on my homeboy because my older
Okay.
homeboy
Oh.
he was in Pelican Bay, and I'm sure you could,
Oh. Okay.
I won't get into all that, but he was,
Okay. Um,
for
I'm
them they
gonna.
didn't want him to get out.
Okay, so
But I
yeah.
was part of that too. I would add to that. Yes, I did take it personal. Like, you know what? They want to get me off the streets because my name was kind of,
Oh,
as far as the neighborhood. Yeah, my name was one of the names,
okay. I get you.
out
So,
there.
okay, so I know how to navigate this. Okay. So there was an influential person at a certain prison up north. He was about to be
Yes.
released. He was about to be
Hmm.
released from prison, and the authorities said, "Nope, we can't have this. We
Yeah,
gotta keep digging.
pretty much.
We gotta find something." And who did
Pretty
they
much.
find?
Yeah.
They fucking found you, man. right? For
Yeah,
the
pretty
viewers.
much.
So
Yeah.
that's how it happened. All right, now.
Oh, they actually
I,
found that guy in Calipat.
so okay, yeah, man, it's not confusing, but it is. It's a lot of
There's
moving
a lot of
parts.
moving pieces to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got my daughter knocking on the door, even though I told my wife I'm gonna be having an interview right now. No, I was
Yeah,
kidding.
that happens. Last time my son walked in, I know exactly.
uh, but so yeah, dude. Okay, okay. So for the viewers, right? Even though we kind of
Mhm.
chit chatted a little bit, holy shit, dude, you were collateral damage.
Yes, exactly. Perfect way to put it.
You were collateral damage.
Yeah. And not only that, of course, I'm sure they wanted me off the streets too, bro. Because back
Correct.
then, right?
Correct.
Back then it's a war. Get these dudes off the streets. If they didn't do it, they should for sure done something somewhere else. Just get them off the streets, you know?
Now, I'm a straight shooter, dude. I'm a straight freaking shooter. The way if I don't catch a person red-handed, then I didn't catch you. Period.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
And
And
there's
I
a lot of guys like that. There was a lot of stand-up guys, but
but
there's
but
other ones that
but I kind of live by that. It's a code, man. If I didn't catch you red-handed, then really I don't got shit on you.
that's a good,
And,
yeah, that's a good.
and the reason I say that is because our managers, our bosses, our administrators in the prison system, they were trying to get us for things that they suspected or alleged or rumors, and they were jamming us up for shit that would never even happen or they thought happened. But I'm like, nah,
Hmm.
man, you ain't fucking catch us red-handed, and you're pinning shit on us, and you're doing weird shit.
That's how it is in life. And I mean, in the life I came from, in that
Right.
culture, same thing, bro. You know, the politics, all that. I've seen dudes just get done dirty, bro, and there's no evidence, bro, to for none of it, and so that's why I still keep that, kind of like what you said. It's like a principle,
Yeah.
even now in my life, and I share this with some of my close people. Don't believe because someone else says something. Don't let that influence the way you see that person,
Correct.
because that's not cool. Someone can do that to you, and the power of suggestion can really affect you, and that's not fair. You need to know that that's true. You need to get that person's side of it, because that can the same thing that happens to him can happen to you. And so I learned that lesson, bro, early on, and I was all that's why I always try to be fair. Living the life that I lived, there was times where I kind of, had a little, influence in
Yeah.
certain areas, and I always applied that, bro, because people, hey, whoop de whoop, this and that. Okay, I need to go check. I need to go verify this and this.
Yeah, that's everywhere, man. That's everywhere.
Yeah,
People trying to get in your ear, and you're like, nah, I don't want to hear it.
exactly.
I don't want to hear it,
Yeah.
man. I'll fucking figure it out on my own. I'll see.
Even like in a workplace.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll see
exactly.
for myself.
Exactly. Yeah, even
Um,
like I said, like in a workplace, work environment, that happens. Rumors, hey, pss, 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 backbiting.
it's
Oh, is
bad,
that right?
man.
That's
It's
why
bad.
gossip, no good.
No, no, it's bad, man. And if one of the things I've identified that is plays a huge role in our
It's
current
poison.
downfall of what's happening. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, man, I didn't expect this story like not like that. Um,
Yeah.
so you said you filed one of those motions, boom, do a
Yes.
retrial, and at
It
what point did you start
it
getting
took
action?
11 months. It took I filed the motion immediately, April of 2012. It took actually a little bit less. It took from April all the way to January. How much is that? 9 months. It took 9 months for the judge to hear it. Here's a little fun fact. My judge, her name is Kathleen Kennedy. She used to go by Kathleen Kennedy Powell. She's actually OJ Simpson, rest in peace. She was OJ Simpson's preliminary hearing, judge, before he went to Lance Edel. Remember Lance Edel, the Chinese guy? OJ Simpson's, I don't know if you were aware of the OJ Simpson trial.
Yeah,
Um but he that his judge became like a known judge. He's
right.
a little short Asian guy. His name was Lance Edel.
Yeah,
I used to see him because he was right next door to my judge. So OJ Simpson actually had my judge before he got bounded over to Lance Edel. He had Kathleen Kennedy, which is the same judge I had. So it took her 9 months to actually hear. I mean, hear the motion in open court and to rule on that motion. Because there was once we got to like right around November, there was holidays coming up, and she wanted to probably give it more time to think about it, which worked in my favor. I was in the county. I never went upstate after when I got convicted of the murder. Usually you get sentenced and you get sent up,
How long were you
and
sentenced for?
they never sentenced me. I never got sentenced. That's the point. That's the when we filed that retrial, we requested uh we requested to put off the sentencing until that motion got heard. Usually they won't do that. They'll sentence you. They'll say, "Okay, put in your motion. I'm gonna sentence you. You're gonna get," because usually they're not gonna grant that motion. They already know, so they're gonna sentence you. And if it gets granted for some strange reason, we'll bring you back. Well, she didn't do that. She kept me there. She honored my attorney's request. I think they had a good relationship, bro. Because
Had they had to have.
my attorney was I was actually thinking about that recently, bro. I was like, man, my attorney must have had a good relationship with her because he's known, he's well respected in LA, and he's a straight shooter. Like that word that you used earlier, he's a straight shooter. Like he's not with all that funny
Yeah.
stuff, bro. And so she honored that request, bro. And she kept me there in the
Wow.
county without sentencing me, so that worked in my favor. Um, and so on January, I believe 18th, 19th, somewhere around there, we went to court to have a hearing to get that motion heard. Um, we had a where my a DA gets up to talk, and then my attorney gets up to talk to I guess argue the points that are on that motion, and then the prosecutor argues the points against that motion. So first, my attorney got up, and then the prosecutor. When the prosecutor got up, bro, I was praying, bro. I was literally quoting the Bible, bro. I was literally, I wasn't even paying it. I was just on one, bro. I was in the zone, just praying, praying, praying. And I had homies praying, bro. I had on the tier. I'm talking about a tier of straight,
Yeah.
you know,
Actives.
real, what I mean, real ones, bro. I had my wife. She wasn't my wife then, but she had people on the internet praying for me. I had churches. I got tias right here. My tia was her husband's a pastor here in Brawley at a Victory Outreach. They're in El Centro now, but back then I had different churches praying for me, bro. I had a lot of people praying, and so at the time that he's talking, the DA, and trip out on this. This is true story, man. This dude usually was a very articulate individual, my prosecutor. He could not speak, bro. When he got up to argue, he was literally stumbling over his words to the point that judge, she goes, sit down, Mr. Bean. His name was Bean, like frijol, Bean,
Yeah.
Bean. She's like, sit down, Mr. Bean. Literally, bro. She straight sat that dude down, and she started talking. She goes, look, I've heard your arguments. I've looked at this. This motion is on point. This penal code, that penal code that you just read, penal code 1111,
That's it.
this penal code is on point. There is insufficient evidence to uphold this conviction. I must, she goes, in 24 years on the bench, I've never did this. She goes, but in this case, I must overturn this conviction and grant this motion for a retrial. She vacated that conviction, bro. And it was as if I was never convicted, as if I never went to trial. And that was the first time she ever did that. So boom, I was granted a new trial, bro.
Now, what happened
Um
with the new trial?
so
The,
so check this out. So now it's as if we're gonna go to trial again. So we start preparing for a new trial, but check this out. This was a straight miracle, bro. I see all these little, like, I call them miracles. I call them acts of God, little miracles.
right.
From my perspective, right?
I mean,
But from the
they look the
legal,
same from my perspective as well.
yeah. But let's just speak from the legal standpoint. So my attorney, he I remember calling him, bro. Um, I remember calling him, and he's like, Isaac. He goes, we got your ticket home. And I'm like, what? I was like, what you mean? He goes, Hudson versus Louisiana. He goes, it's a federal case law, 1981. Your viewers can check it out later. Google that. Hudson versus Louisiana. This is a federal case law. This is a case that happened in 1981, briefly. Case, a black guy that got convicted of murder, kind of similar circumstances. He got convicted, but there was no real evidence to corroborate that conviction, bro. I forgot the elements of to his case, but it was something similar. And so in the federal courts, they ruled that there was not, according to the U.S. Constitution, there was not enough evidence to uphold this murder. And so he got granted a new trial. And they actually could not take him back to trial, because if they would have taken him back to trial,
Double
they
jeopardy.
would have been using the same evidence, which was
Right.
not enough in the first place. And guess what? It would have been double jeopardy.
Right.
So my case fell up under that. So that case law, we filed a motion for dismissal with that case law as the primary point to validate that motion. We
Yeah.
filed it. It got heard March 15th. We went again, another hearing. We're there. My attorney gets up, pops his whatever he's gonna say. Prosecutor gets up, says what he's gotta say, and the judge, she says again, I've never did this. She goes, this motion and this, she goes, I've really struggled with this case. She goes, I've never struggled the way I got all that paperwork still right here in my garage, bro. I still have all my discovery, all that stuff. I have it all right here, bro. I've been, I've worked on trying to work on a book, bro. I've lagged because of life. You know what I mean? I got two little ones. I'm a bus driver. I got all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But Lord willing, I'd like to get that out there, bro. I
Definitely.
want to. I want to get that book in prison. That's my. I'm not even tripping on financial gain, bro. I want to
No,
get that.
I hear you.
I want to get it into the prison, bro. Because I'm an avid book reader. I always love reading books, and I
Right.
know how it can impact somebody. So anyhow, um, she goes. I struggled with this case. She goes, but I have to. I have to rule according to the law. And according to the U.S. Constitution, I am barred from taking this man back to trial under the double jeopardy clause. This case is is remanded, something like that, and this case is dismissed. And that day, I walked right out of that
No
court. I didn't
way.
even go back. I didn't even go back to the county. I went back to the holding tank, but that day, a couple hours later, about 4 5 hours later, they stretched it all the way to the evening.
They
I
did?
walked. Yeah, bro. They even came into They came into my cell,
They
the
were
holding
probably
tank.
they were probably verifying everything.
Yeah,
Like, hey, we're gonna
bro.
let
They
this
were
dude
trying to
go.
find. Check this out. They walked in and they go, you know what? We found something out of Pasadena. They go, we're sorry, but you're not gonna make it home. I was like, what?
Pass.
I was like, nah. I was like,
Damn.
I don't got nothing out of Pasadena. I said, go double check that. I said, I don't got. As soon as that guy walked out of the room, guess what I did? I dropped straight to my knees, bro. I dropped straight to my knees and I put my face on my hands, and I was like, Lord, I trust you. You've got me this far. I know that you're going to get me out. I know that this could be a test, but even if it's whatever, I trust you. And as soon as I got up from that prayer, that dude comes back in the cell and he goes, you know what? We made a mistake. You're clear. Get ready. You're going to walk out in a couple minutes. Boom, they gave me a paper jumpsuit. It's like they give you these paper jumpsuits.
Yeah.
If anybody that's been in there knows what I'm talking about. And all praise to God, bro. I walked right out of that court, and I've been out ever since, bro. 11 years,
11 years.
11 years, man. And
When
yeah,
technically that shouldn't have happened.
technically it shouldn't happen. I tried. I tried to file um for for the time that I was in there.
Yeah.
for some type of financial gain.
Right.
But because I was in the county, the law might have changed by now. They told me it was in the process of probably changing. It's stupid. Because I wasn't in prison, it doesn't apply.
Oh, I
That
hear what you're
states
saying.
there's nothing that states if an inmate is in the county jail system that he's that is applicable to him to receive financial gain for those years lost. There's nothing in there. Nobody's ever done that because they never stayed in the county that long where something like this happened. It's very rare, bro. If I would have been in prison that whole time
Yeah.
and then that happened, then I qualify.
Oh, if you would have been
But
in
because I
prison,
was in
you would have caught another case, man, if you were in
yeah.
prison.
But I wasn't even tripping, bro. Just my
Right.
freedom was enough, bro. I was like, I don't care, bro. I don't, you know?
What do you view your story as? What do you view your experience as yourself? Like a miracle? Like
Yes.
everything happened for a reason. It was according to God's plan. What do you
Yes,
view
yes.
it as?
Redemption, miracle, all of the above. And mainly I'm gonna say forgiveness, bro. Forgiveness because I was a gang member, a gangbanger since I was 9 years old. I wasn't involved in a lot of ugly stuff, bro. I've hurt a lot of people, hurt families, bro. I'm man enough to say that now. I know there's forgiveness in Jesus Christ, bro. That's why I surrender my life to Him. But I see that now. I look back, I'm like, wow. And so my message, my hope is to, come on here and share. I don't mind sharing all the prison stuff, all the gang. That's part of my life. But ultimately, is to let people know that, hey, doesn't matter what you've done in your life. There is forgiveness. There is hope. Even if you're in jail, even if you've been in jail for 30, 40 years. That's why I want to write a book, get that information in there.
Right.
Hey, there's hope for you. There's hope for you because um God offers us eternal life and it's based on what he did on the cross for us, the blood of Jesus, not what we do, not because we go to church or we're these good
Right.
Christians, these hallelujah. Nah,
Right.
it's all by his grace. And so that's the message that I'd like to convey. And also to say that hey, there yes, someone like myself is looked at obviously as someone, oh, the outcast of society. Oh man, they're no good, but not everybody is like that. Look at me. I didn't have a father. This is not an excuse. All my choices, I stand on them, bro.
Yeah.
I take full accountability. But bro, I didn't have a father. Okay. My mother worked all day. Me and my brother, we basically did whatever the heck we wanted to. She did the best she could. She was a good mother, took care of us. We had everything we needed. We were loved. I had a lot of love in my home. My mom loved me. But the environment I was raised in, the school, the friends, all that played a part. And I'm just gonna take it a step further. I got other friends that their mom was a crackhead, their dad
Yeah.
was in prison. So from the outside, you don't see that. All you see is this bald Mexican with tattoos all over, and you see him as the scum of the earth. But they don't understand that there's things that lead up to that. Not everybody. Some dudes they just want to be they want to
No.
be cool and they want to, especially nowadays, bro. Everybody wants to be a gangster. It's like it's all watered down now. But the point is that nah, there there's a lot of things that people don't see, and it's not fair to just say that person, they're human beings just like you, man.
Not just that. I don't know if you watch my channel or not, but I've been doing a pretty good job of shining the light on realities and truth. Not just that.
Oh yeah, bro.
Do you
I
know
salute
why?
to you. Yeah.
Thank you. You know why I respect you and guys like you? It's like straight up is because you guys have accepted accountability. You guys didn't
Hmm.
say, "Nah, I was not a gangbanger. Nah, I didn't do that. Nah, I
Yeah.
wasn't doing that." You guys are like, "Yeah, I did this shit,
Nah.
right?" And my own bosses, man, it's giving me chills because it upsets me to my core.
Yeah.
My own bosses, managers, and administrators will lie straight to your face and tell you, "Nah, we didn't do that." And you know they did.
Hmm.
You got proof, evidence. So, and look at them. They wear suits. They wear suits. They comb their hair to the side, and they're disgusting. It's
No
unethical.
doubt.
They're
That's a
disgusting.
Dang, that's a good point, bro. From your
From my
perspective, yeah, bro.
perspective,
That's pretty deep, bro. Because obviously, I grew up with you guys, meaning
right,
CEOs, with all
right,
that. I literally grew up with like, even though you guys go home, you've said it before. I think you're still kind of like doing time with us. You're
yeah,
there, and then all the overtime that you
you're
guys
there,
would put in, you guys would be there. I would, you know what I mean? And so yeah, bro, there is bad people everywhere, man,
everywhere,
and even at the highest levels of government. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean that we don't love our country, that we don't
right.
trust in our system. I used to be against. I was one of those f the system,
I get it,
f the police, all
I
that.
get it,
Nah, bro, we need police, bro. We need
yeah,
we need things to be enforced, bro. I have kids, bro. you know
right,
I see things differently now. Our country, man, we're blessed, bro. I love our country, bro. I got family that, what I mean, military. Like, we're all part of this country, bro. We're all like one big family if you look at it like that, bro. And there's a lot of good, man. But within that, there is a lot of bad. So for just this specific race or this specific group culture of people to be highlighted, like, oh no, nah, man, there's a lot of things that people are unaware of, man. That, I mean,
yeah,
just look at the past, bro. You could go back. There's so much stuff, bro. The MLK, the JFK,
yeah,
the, 9
for
11. There's just a
for
lot of
sure,
stuff, bro. Yeah.
definitely, man. Dude, this interview really blew me away, man, because I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that one bit, dude. Um,
I'm glad we didn't talk like before.
yeah, dude, you would have ruined the story, man. You would have spoiled
Nah.
it. But where can people find you, man? I know you had mentioned you have a YouTube channel. If people want to reach out to you and say, "Hey, dude, we like the way what you shared. We need help."
Mhm.
uh, Where can they
So
reach
the
you?
first place, my YouTube channel is Righteous by Faith. That's it. Type in Righteous by Faith and it'll pop up. I have not too many subscribers, maybe like, I think it's like 1,800 or 900, almost 2,000 subscribers. So I got a lot of more content on there, different stuff that I've done throughout the years. I'm barely getting back into sharing more stuff. So that's number one, the YouTube channel. I got music on there too. I now make I mean, I haven't done it for a while, but I got some videos trying to reach people through that. I guess tool is music to reach, especially even youngsters,
Yeah.
influence people. um I have that on there. I have on IG, Righteous by Faith underscore RIP, like the initials, like rest in peace, RIP, Righteous by Faith underscore RIP. It is private. I'm not in it like for the followers and all that.
Okay.
But if you reach out to me, let me know that you came through here through the lieutenant. Um just give me a little, what I mean, send me little message, whatever, and I'll accept you. We'll follow each other back. On Facebook, I'm Isaac Pedroza. You can find me there. And I got a album coming out, hopefully, Lord willing, in June. I'd like to, promote a little bit of that. Um, and it's pretty good stuff, man. It's probably not what you guys would think. It's pretty raw, some pretty raw music. And so I got that coming out. And so, yeah, bro, I really thank you, man. I thank you for allowing me to share on your platform. At first I was a little kind of like, I wonder if this would work. But nah, man, you're salute to you, bro. You're a cool dude, man. I actually enjoyed this. It's cool because you know things that other people don't know, bro. Like, that whole side of it. So that, for me knowing that that, it
Yeah,
helps me to be able to express it a little bit better, explain it a little bit better, because you know the ins and outs of the prison system.
for
And
sure.
so that's pretty dope. Like I said, salute to you. There is one last thing I'd like to share, if you allow me to.
Definitely, dude.
um so, like I said, my whole purpose, of course, is to share my testimony. And the main thing that I want to convey for anybody out there, you don't have to be a gang member. You could be a CO, just a regular person, regular civilian. Doesn't matter, old, young, big, small, whatever. If there's anybody out there, even just one person that needs to hear that there is forgiveness in the name of Jesus. The Bible says that if you call upon the name of Jesus Christ, he will save you. It's not a religion. It's not about religion. It's not about none of that. It's about a relationship with God. When you come to the bottom and you hit rock bottom, like I did, there's only one way to look, and that's up. And so there's hope with God, man. We're living in crazy times. And so I just want to extend that invite. The gospel means good news. And that means that Jesus died for your sins. He took your place on that cross so that you don't have to suffer the you don't have to suffer for those sins. He basically took your place. He took the rap for you, in other words. And so when you place your faith in him, he saves you, you become his child, and then he starts to do something in you like he's done in me. He's still transforming me, man. Every day, every day is a different day. It's a struggle sometimes. I still get tempted, all that stuff, but I know that I'm his, man. And so God is good. Just want to extend that invite. And if you anybody like to reach out to me as well, I work with men. If you know someone out there that may be lost in drugs, lost in gangs, it doesn't matter even if they're in another state. I work with guys even out of state. I just got out right before I jumped on with you. I was on a like little conference call with a couple of brothers that
Yeah.
I've tapped into through Hoodstock. Shout out to Hoodstocks.
Right.
I know you did something on Lucky recently.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, bro, I that's another thing that I do. It's like a little ministry that landed on my lap. I enjoy doing it to be able to help guys. And I'm nobody. I'm just a vessel. I'm an instrument
Right.
to lead them and help counsel them, and try to get them where they need to be. So if there's anybody out there that you guys may know or you are one of those, feel free to hit me up, man. And I'd love to chop it up with you and get to know you.
Hey, God told you to say that last part, huh? Because I heard
Yeah,
you change it up, man, and I know what you mean. Like, dude, weird stuff has been happening on this end too. I'm telling you, I don't want to call it weird, but you know what I
yeah,
mean. A lot of people are
yeah. I
turned
know.
off by religion, but again, it's the
Yes,
spirituality, man.
that's
It's a
why I
higher
said it's not
power. It's
that.
God. Yeah, and
Yeah.
slowly but surely, man, I think we're reaching to the masses. Why? Because look at how ugly
Yes,
things
sir.
got.
Yes,
And you're
sir.
right, dude. We're just this is bigger than us. This is bigger than us.
Yes,
I know for
sir.
a fact this is bigger than us,
Yes,
man. There's
sir.
just me and you just don't cross paths like this.
Yeah, the
You know
Lord's
what I
using
mean?
the Lord's using you. It's funny. It's crazy how that can happen, bro. An
Yeah.
ex inmate, an ex lieutenant CO, like
Yeah, yeah. But is
blows my
that
mind, bro.
y- I'm enjoying this journey though, man. It's all about helping
Heck
people.
yeah.
So
It's
that
cool,
dude, I
bro.
want to thank you for coming on here. I'm gonna help you out with that book, man, because you mentioned you
Yes,
want to write
sir.
that book. I'm gonna shoot you some tips or whatever, and we'll get through that.
Oh yeah, bro.
So hang on. Let me close it out with the viewers, and then
All right.
I'll get back to you.
Yes, sir.
Wow, guys, man, I'm just blown away. I'm pretty sure you guys are too. I didn't expect that, not one bit, and I feel like God spoke to me on that one. Is what I needed during this time. I truly did. And again, I didn't say religion, right? So don't be turned off. Don't be breaking the TV, man.
Yeah.
Settle down, relax. It's gonna be all right, and keep pushing forward.
Yes,
Love you
sir.
guys.